Keep doing that. Keep doing what you were doing. That yeah,
Hello.
exactly. That's the whole
Hello. Hi,
mood right
hi,
there.
hi. How are we?
We
Happy
are good.
Sunday.
Happy Sunday. How was your week? What
You know what?
happened?
It's not like anything happened. I just don't recall much. Like,
Was it
unless you
that
ask me,
bad?
it wasn't bad. It wasn't memorable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Not much
mm.
happened. Nothing bad happened, which is good. But
Okay.
like, wasn't
That's
was it? I'm trying to think of what. Oh, I finished this other very cute book
oh, what's it called?
on neighbor favor. Oh, that's so cute.
Okay. Have you watched Big Love on Prime? Or do
Good.
you have Prime?
Thank you for this opportunity. I can see that people like it. The thing is, I'm a hater. And I'll tell you why I'm a hater. No, no, no.
Why?
Like, because I was telling my mom, she's like, oh, nice, no, she can go. We did Netflix party, me and these other people. They do usually party. All of us were watching it together on Prime.
Hmm.
Now, okay. Uh, I also, those names, I was quite unclear. I
Yeah,
didn't
the names. Okay, but
like.
then but those might be names like from other cultures that we're just not familiar with. So
But okay, you are right, you are right. At dinner, she
mm.
said she no want to. I didn't say particularly must do. And that is what I don't like. If she says these 2 weeks and there are many weeks we are here, let's
Morayo,
accept.
accept love. Accept big love. Please,
But
I
let me
beg
tell
you.
you, see, oh, and then
Let's
on
not
top of
spoil it
that,
for people. Let's not spoil it for people. So don't
no, I
tell
won't
them the
spoil it.
story.
But like on top
Okay.
of that, it was this man is trying to love you. It was two
Hmm.
ways. This man is trying to love you. Baraduru, let yourself be loved. Hey, I'm a single man. Girl, you are not the first single mother that will be loved. Relax, right?
But it's a
She,
problem in Nigeria. Like, you know how Nigerians judge single mothers. Like, you're a single mom. Like, it's just, I
but
think
she too
being,
has already judged herself in her heart. That is the thing that gets
yes.
right.
Yeah, but
But
I think that's a reflection of the society though, because once you become a
mm,
single mom, people expect
mm,
you to start feeling less than. Like
mm,
it's like being
mm,
a divorced woman in Nigeria. People expect you to hide in shame and things like that. So it tracks.
that she was hiding. I'm like, girl, come into the
Yeah.
light. Don't be shy. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
into the light. It was cute though.
I guess.
So this week we are talking about because we started with three circles. We started with the intimate dating. So we need to do
Yes.
one on funny dating stories because I was reflecting over this last week and I was like, damn, I have tried. And then the second one was friendship. So like I'll just leave it to you to start because you introduced us to these three circles. So
Thank you.
take it away, Mariah. Take it away.
Okay. You know, as Spices is serious in your 20s and all of that. I know you're a very sociable person. I feel like you're one of those people that can talk to anybody and everybody. You
Try.
give off that vibe, right? And you know people. Question: did you like ever struggle to make friends or keep friends?
Ah, I like this question.
And so
So I
wise.
no, it's not me even being wise. I just like the question because it's made me think way back. Like I think it's a combination of yes and no. So people think that I have a lot of friends, and that's not true. You don't look like you believe me.
I feel like
Mariah, please.
you lucky. I don't believe you. Okay, maybe no. I should not confuse knowing people with being friends with people.
Yeah. So I do know people. I like to connect with people, talk to everybody, like get to know a little bit about them. I don't
Mm,
mind small talk once in
mm,
a while, except I'm hungry or cold.
okay.
I'm happy to have some small talk. Like if I'm very hungry, I can't do small talk. Like I feel like my body is shutting down. And if I'm very cold, I can't function at all.
Mm,
So it's a combination of yes and no. I don't have a lot of friends,
mm,
but I think when I was younger, I think I struggled to make friends, and even now I don't want to call it a struggle anymore because I don't see it that way. But I
mm,
realize that the way I am, the way I see things, my sense of humor is a bit weird.
mm,
And it can be dark sometimes. I can be sarcastic.
mm,
Um, and not in a mean way. Like it's just
Mm.
for me, it's just having conversation. I can be quite sarcastic. I don't know how to baby people. My friends have told me this. So like those people who are just like, oh, I want to be your friend because I feel like you have all of this knowledge and you're going to baby me. I don't do that. So for that reason, there are people who consider me to be quite mean, actually. So
Mhm.
I would want to be friends with them, but they're watching me and they're like, oh, she seems weird. Like there was a guy in my when I did my first masters who called me into his office one day. He was in my research group and was like,
Mm.
you give an aloof energy. You're too aloof. And I was
Meaning,
like, what do you mean? Simply because I'm a mind your business type of person. Like my favorite Bible verse is aspire to live a quiet life and mind your business.
love it so much.
Like, you know how people are like, my favorite Bible verse is Jesus did this one. And mine, I have
Mm.
like a couple that are not very religious. It's aspire to live a quiet life and mind your business. Time and chance happens to everything.
Mm, mm, mm,
Those are big verses for me. So anyway, in terms of like relating with people, I do mind my business. Like so for them, that's like aloof energy. So I think it takes a while for people to get to know me and perhaps like me. So I would say in that aspect, I've struggled, but because I'm happy to talk to people,
mm,
I connect with them easily. Like it's one of my strengths, talking to people,
mm,
relating,
mm,
finding
mm,
common ground.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if you're the right person to ask this question because like you said, you have like you're able to talk to people and you're able to relate with people. I think there's a thing like when you're in there's a thing of when you are older, so like when you are not in school anymore, because school was like common ground for you to like make friends with people. So
Mm,
a lot of people my age feel like once you have left school, like a socializing setting, and you're
yeah.
out in the wild, like finding and making friends can be quite difficult. And even like the initial steps of like talking to someone to find common ground is a bit, you know, I feel like for
Mm,
me, I've been quite lucky in the sense that I did used to struggle to make friends.
mm,
But like when I was going to like when I moved here, that's like, okay. Another question before I go back to what I'm saying. Because you've moved quite a lot, like how did you find like moving and then making friends where you were, and then having to leave said friends and then like restart the process of making friends again?
mm.
If that makes sense, because obviously you won't leave your friends that you've made, for example, in job work behind, but like it's not the same.
It's not,
You
yeah,
get it?
you need new friends where you're at.
Mhm,
That's a good one. So when I was in Nigeria, I mean, I only did high school in Nigeria before I left, and then I did final year of high school in South Africa. So
mhm,
I had friends I made that understood me quite well. We lived in the same neighborhood. We used to walk to
mhm,
school together. We were really close, and we're still friends still today, but we just don't keep in touch. But if I were to hit them up and say, "Hey, I'm coming to Lagos. I'm getting married," they will turn up. I sort of
mhm,
have that confidence. I don't know if it's the
mhm,
same for them, but because our friendship is just sort of like taking, it's not, it's like on the back burner, but it's still very much alive, if you can put it that way.
mhm,
And then I moved to Pretoria in South Africa and I lived with my mom's colleagues' daughters. So
mhm,
they became my friends in that way. And it was a bit of an interesting relationship. Like as an adult, reflecting back on that relationship, there was a lot that was wrong with it. But
mhm,
those were the friends I had. Then after a year, I went to Stellenbosch. And I think at that time, there was just this realization very quickly that I have to learn to bond with people who are not like me.
mhm,
When you're in Nigeria, everybody is Nigerian. Everybody speaks, I mean, maybe not the same mother language, but we have a unifying language. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And we have a shared sense of identity in the fact that we are Nigerian, or even like you said, you're in a school together. There are things that bond you. But when you go to a foreign country
mhm,
where people sort of already know each other and their systems of class of like association are just very different from what you know. Like I went to an Afrikaans university. So first of all, there's a language barrier. A lot of people were there spoke Afrikaans. I couldn't. It was out in the Western Cape. I think I was one of 4 or 5 Black people in my residence hall. And in my entire class, I think we were just 3 Black students or 4, if I remember, and we were like over 200. So that already is just like a whole different thing. So I had to quickly tell myself, these are the people who are here. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to learn to connect with them somehow, some way. So
Mm,
that meant often finding things like in common or even things that are different from each other, but interesting to know. Um, so for example, things like how high school was in Nigeria compared to how high school was for someone who went to a South African private school. And those would be places where we would sort of like compare notes and we would laugh at each other's
mm,
experiences. And I realized that a lot of the time, building relationships with people is not about always finding commonality, because I think that's where a lot of people struggle. People leave their home country, for example, and they're like, I'm looking for other people from my country. For me, I'm always like looking for other people that I can just connect with. And it can be on anything. It could be on climate change. It could be on how you decorate your home. It could be
mm,
on food, anything. So that
mm,
has helped me. So all the cities I've lived in, and I just realized I've pinged around quite a bit,
mm,
it has always been about that. People say the older you get, I mean, just to get back to the question I think you were heading towards, the older you get, the less likely is that you'll make new friends. I think the
mm,
older you get, the more deliberate you become about making friends. So, for example, my friend Dudu,
mm,
we became friends. I met her after I had finished my PhD,
mm.
and she wrote to me via email. We worked in the same place, but she wrote me an email to say, I really like you. I want us to be friends. And I realized like that perhaps when you're older, you can't expect it to just be that
You shoot
natural
your shots,
flow.
guys. You have to shoot your shots. I believe
Like,
in
yeah,
you.
yeah, like you just go for it. And I've done the same since I moved to Canada. Like I have a colleague who I think is really fun. She's really sweet, but we only tend to just talk at work. So one day
Mm.
I said to her, would you be okay if we connected outside of work and I could give you my personal number? Because we have a work phone number.
Professional. Can we
Yeah.
connect?
And now, like now we chat about crash landing on you. We chat about like
Yes.
travel. Like so I think like it's just that being deliberate, and a lot of people miss out. Like people are like not willing to step out of their comfort zone and get to
Mm,
know another person. Whereas I feel like getting to know another person is one of the most interesting things, because
mm,
you discover a lot. Like one of my friends that I made recently is Bangladeshi, but she grew up in Canada, and she's sort of like opened my eyes to like what it's like to be from Bangladesh versus what's like to be from India, and like
mm.
the religious, but like it's interesting. So I hope that answers your question.
No, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I feel like with me, right? So before I moved to SA, I didn't have a problem making friends, right? But you
Mm,
see that you should finding friends or like relating with people, even
mm,
people who are different from me. I struggle very much with that. Number one. Like
mm,
when I moved to SA, like throughout high school. So it was very dingy in the friendship aspect, you know. And I remember like before I went to university, I told my mom, I'm like, we need to pray that I find a friend because I don't want to be alone at university. And she's like, no, no
mm.
problem. And we prayed. And God really showed out, you know. I feel
Yeah.
like I made friends. I mean, some of them have scattered now, but like at that time, it was I wouldn't go to class by myself. If I needed to go to campus square, I could go with someone. If I
Mm,
wasn't alone and I wasn't lonely. So that was good. And it kind
mm,
of helped me up until like when I eventually was in honors and I was by myself. I didn't have a problem doing things by myself because I wasn't what's the word? They had some of them had left, right? But I was like, you have friends, they're just not here. Versus
yeah.
you don't have friends. They're not here. You're by yourself. They're fine. And even like going into work, I still prayed that I needed a friend and God gave me one. And even moving to Cape Town. You know where I think people can make friends? Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yes. I met you on Twitter.
You know, this is interesting. I don't remember this. Like
I'm telling you,
I remember meeting you in person at work, like where we were working, where I was
but
working with our mutual friend.
before that, now
Yeah.
that I was thinking about it last week, I'm like, I feel like I had been following you or we had been following each other.
Yeah.
I you know where the mutual follow must have come from. I don't know. Can we mention people's names?
Yeah, let's go
You
for it. I
know,
mean,
I used to follow Tola, right? And I think you
yes.
and Tola were following each other. And then at some point, we followed each other, right? And like
Oh,
we used
yeah.
to chat. And then I followed said mutual friend,
Yes.
right? And then it was, oh, we are having a this thing. You should come. I'm like,
Oh
say less.
yeah.
I will be there.
That
So
was
that
when you
was
came to our workplace. Oh, okay. I just
it.
remember meeting you and I was like, oh, she's so fun. She's interesting. And that's like for me, yeah.
That's Twitter. And like my friends now in Cape Town, like
Mm,
people that you know from Twitter, and it's like, oh, I'm in Cape Town. Oh, we also in Cape Town. Yay, let's be friends. I feel
that's
like I
nice.
have met, to be very honest with you, I feel like a bulk of my adult friends I have met on Twitter. So
I don't
that's
know why
that.
I don't get that from Twitter. I usually just get people will send me weird messages like, hi, I see you work in policy. And then I'm like, okay. And then what happened?
That's then because you have what you do in your bio. I don't.
No, I don't. My bio literally says a tired and what? A tired and recovering overachiever. That's what my bio says.
Okay, maybe okay, I don't know. I don't know.
I
But I feel like maybe God knew that I could not like relate with people in real life. So I relate with them online first. And then by the time we meet in real life, it's like, oh, where have you been all my
How
life?
lovely. That's the
So
easy way to go about it for sure. Oh, that is so funny. But have you ever
mm.
had bad experiences with any friends that you've met, like be online or in person? It's just curious now.
So like friendship breakups. Oh,
Yeah.
I had a significant one in 2020 going into 2021. And to be honest with you, in hindsight, when I think about what happened, did I handle it wrong? Yes. Was the person wrong? Yes. Did I handle it wrong? Also, yes. But I feel like there's this thing that I believe very strongly. Like there's more love outside. Do you get what I'm
Mm,
saying? Not that you should like do your friendships anyhow, right? But like if something should, for example, doesn't work out, don't be holding on to something because that is what you are comfortable with. It's fine. You will meet more outside.
yeah.
You may even meet better outside. You will meet better outside. So it was there was a little disagreement, and I the way I handle things, like I said before, I avoid. So I'm just like I'm just going to ignore it. And by the time everything was now said in the open. I'm like, well, now I'm over the friendship now, and
Mm,
you know, I'm over it. You're over it. It's fine. We are cordial now, right? And at that
yeah.
point, it was very painful. But I'm like, you know what? Now, when I see the friends that I have in my life now, new friends I have, and friends from long ago, I'm like, I'm in a good place in terms of friendship, right? I'm open to more friends, but like I'm in a good place, and whatever happened that time happened.
Yeah.
Fine, great. But you know what? So be it. In
So
terms
be
of
it.
in terms of online, I have not seen any terrible things as yet. Thank God. But the thing is with the people that I know that I've met online, right?
Mm.
Somebody I know in real life knows them already, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
I see. Yeah. So they're like a
So
mutual connection, sort of.
exactly. Like with you, someone I knew in real life knew you. With the
Mm,
people from Twitter that in Cape Town, so we all studied the same thing. We're all going through the same problems at the same time. Someone knew the person, so they were not,
yeah.
you know. And like with the
Mm,
work, also obviously you've seen them at work, so you know. And like I made a
yeah.
friend at work. We started on the same day. We are besties now. So I
Oh,
think,
that's great.
honestly, it is
That's
the
nice.
same group.
Yeah, I think generally, like friendships are core to your well-being, I believe. But I think friendship betrayals can also be like really intense. And
Right.
teenage friendships, like for me, those are like, okay, whatever, except for the ones I made in Nigeria. I really value them. I think they're lovely people.
Mhm.
But like when you're older and you have a friendship betrayal, I feel like it's sort of hard to recover from that.
I feel like
Um,
it's worse than a man breaking my heart. Maybe it's not worse. It is. I don't know. It's worse because this person that I used to be friends with, I used to
mm,
text that person like every day. Do you get
mm,
what I'm saying? Like if there was somebody that knew what was going on in my life, and now I feel like
nothing.
it is happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday. That is it. Sometimes we keep you
Yeah.
at that stage, but after that, and I feel like it is so wild that somebody that you used to speak to, or might as well it's worse than man breaking your heart. Actually.
To be honest, yeah, I think so too. And I think also it's because friendships are very valuable, right? Like I tell people that sometimes I feel like one of the reasons why I might be single is because my friends are so amazing. Like they show me a level of love that I'm like, if someone cannot meet this, I am not willing to spend the rest of my life with them. Like my friends, for example, I have friends in the UK, in Sri Lanka, in Singapore, India, and recently I had like a bad medical test result
Are you
that
hearing this?
really put me. What?
Are you hearing all this noise that's going on?
I think I can hear someone driving around in the background.
I don't understand where they are going to. Apologies, carry on.
Yeah, so I was just saying, like, I got a bad medical test result recently, and I didn't tell my friends about it because I was just sort of like really in a bad space. And then eventually, when I told them, remember, I said these people are just like everywhere. Um, one of them in the UK and the other one from Sri Lanka sent me flowers. And I remember it was like one of those, I didn't even think I wasn't expecting anything. They had asked me if they could send me dessert. And I said, no, no, I don't have a sweet tooth. And please don't worry. Like, I didn't want anybody to be bothered for my sake. But one day I was just chilling on a Friday night and I got a ring from the door. And it was, yeah, yeah, we have a delivery for you. And I remember thinking, what did I order? Like I was thinking, did I order something on Amazon and completely forgot about it? So I get downstairs and there's this lady holding flowers. And I was like, wait, who is this from? Because at that time I had just started talking to somebody new. So I was like, did he send me flowers? Like, did I send him my address? Because I don't think I did. But okay, like I don't know what's going on. Let me just get this person. And I get up and it's from my friends. And I was just like, and it was like, I think I still have the card here actually. Yeah. It says, yeah, dear Demi, sending you love, hugs, and best wishes. Norma and Anita. And this is like coordination from the UK, Sri Lanka. So I'm like, these are friends that I'm not even spending every single day with, right? Like they are way like in very different places from me. So I can't imagine then being with a guy who is aloof or like
Yeah.
unbothered by what's going on with me. And I think like my female friendships, because they're so good, have helped me evaluate guys better.
Oh, female friendships will save your life.
They
Love,
will save you.
love them.
They will
Yes.
save you for real. I know. I
Seriously, what a
absolutely love them.
concept. What a beautiful concept. Like,
I
wow,
know. I
wow.
know.
I
I
feel
know.
like also with, I was saying to my mom this one day, right? I feel like there's no, there are these things that people say sometimes, oh, the friends that you get in high school are forever the, like mentioning like different stages, like those friends. Once you get those friends, you don't need more friends. My mom made a friend like when she was in her 40s or so, and that's like one of her best friends till today. So I feel like you shouldn't like close yourself up and be like, no, the time has passed, or
Hmm.
just be open
Yeah.
to say,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I feel like people will say that are people who are staying where they were raised. Like in this day and age where we're all popping around, that concept can no longer
fair,
hold true.
fair.
Like I've had this discussion with a few people who are Canadians. Like people say that Canadians don't make friends beyond the age of 21, because they make friends with the people they went to university, to high school with, university, and they just stay friends in that circle. And so, like when you're new and you're trying to perhaps like integrate into the Canadian system and make friends with people, you might feel like a bit of an outsider because all of these people sort of already know each other. It can be a bit cliquey. Yeah, but then I realized recently that it's because they stay where they're raised, or they might move to a different city, but where they're raised and all that, they still have an attachment to that. If they were to move around very often and like go live in other countries and so on, the concept that, oh, the friends you make when you're 21 are the friends that you keep forever
So
doesn't hold anymore.
insightful. I never thought about it like that. That, wow, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, speaking of friendship breakups, I don't know if
Mm.
you saw. This is not funny. You know
What?
Hilda Basi,
Oh,
the
yeah.
lady. So apparently, she was friends with this other lady. I forgot the lady's name now. They were best friends. But
Okay.
then that lady introduced her to somebody else. That is how those two became best friends behind her back.
You
And
know,
so now this, it's not funny. You laugh, but it's not funny. So now this babe now that is doing her photo, I've forgotten her name now. I can't check my phone now because no.
yeah.
But like, so she was on Instagram live, like lamenting and saying how they stole best friend. Initially, people were laughing, but something is like, you people are not understanding. Somebody that me and made you meet, you people are not doing best friendship. Not only best friendship, they are doing They, I feel like they have a joint. They have a joint what's it called? Joint TikTok page. They are making
Oh wow.
that friendship will scatter. I'm so sorry. What do you
But
mean?
you know what? I think that's just the failure on three of them. I think there are people I've introduced to each other who have gone on to become closer, but I don't feel the sense of exclusion per se,
See,
if
you
that
need,
makes
I'll
sense.
find that video for you so you can watch it. This is a lot deeper than what I'm explaining.
So
Because
she and Hilda were besties, is what you were saying, and then she
yeah,
introduced Hilda at some. Okay, okay,
and it's like they removed her from the equation and then they
yeah.
started. It's worse than cheating, in my opinion. Because what do you mean? And you're putting it in my face. Someone
And
today
you have
was
a joint
like,
TikTok page.
police will carry everybody because what do you mean? Do you get? So like when
Yeah.
you were saying it, I was like, no, I actually because somebody I made you meet. Not only are you people doing best friendship, you are now moving me outside of the it can hurt and I'll find the link and I'll send it to you. It was a
I'm
lot
trying
deeper
to
than that.
I'm trying to figure out if anything like that has happened to me, and I can't think of any incident. But I think
Mm.
also I should also say that that might be because I don't have a best friend per se. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm one of those people who I'm like, I have friends, I value them. I can't say I value them equally, but I value each and every one of them.
Mm-mm.
But my friends, what friends know about me is dependent on what the situation is and who I think is best placed to help me with that situation. So I don't have one person I go to with every single thing where I'm like, this thing has happened. I
Mm-mm.
need to quickly go and text Morayo. Or I need to. I don't necessarily have that. I do have a couple of friends who I tell a lot of things.
Mm-mm.
But I think like right from when I was young, the concept of I think okay, I remember what scarred me. You know what? I did A levels for a year in Nigeria before I left because I finished high school really young. And there was
Mm-mm.
this girl in my class. She was really pretty. I can't remember her name though. She was half British in my A levels class. She was mixed basically. So she was half white. And she and I used to like spend time together. She would sit next to me, especially in physics class and things like that. So we used to talk a lot. And you know, when you're a teenager, like you sort of want to be associated with the popular person. And I've already told you this girl is mixed. So you best believe she was popular in school. So one day, I think she didn't come to school for like a couple of days. And then I saw her when she came back, and I was like, oh my God, my best friend is here. And she looked at me and was like, but I have a best friend in the UK.
Wow.
Since then, I've just sort of lost that thing of best friends because I think I just have trauma from that.
Fair, fair. It's like
So,
speaking of this best friend thing. No, carry on,
yeah.
sorry.
No, no,
I
you
don't
go
know.
on. I don't have anything else to say.
I was reading this book, A Spell of Good Things by Obama Adebayo.
Yeah.
So again, this is the thing you have made me know many people. Your friend, my other fellow PhD holder.
I have so many PhD holder friends. Sorry.
How many do
Sorry.
I know?
That's like a weird flex, but
Right now,
Cape Town.
it will
Which
come to
one?
you.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, the
Yeah.
lawyer. Yes. No,
Mhm.
you can say her
So,
name. Yeah.
okay,
For
okay.
Meme.
So then she invited me to this book club. I like to swindle my way to book clubs. That's my favorite.
Okay.
So this book club we're reading A Spell of Good Things by Obama Adebayo. I had read the
Mm-hmm.
book before and I needed an outlet too. And the author was there. So
Okay. Yeah.
lovely. Had a fun time. Anyway, so one of the things that happened in this book is one of the main characters' name is Eniola. Eniola's junior sister. So she
Mm.
was in school this one time and she was talking to this girl and like they were best friends. And then all of a sudden, this girl missed school and then she came back and they were like, oh, my best. The friend was like, no, 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 you're not my best friend. Jesus is my best friend. She's like, wow. So now
It hurts.
somebody in the book club like mentioned it and said that she remembers something like that happening to her. Like someone she thought was her best friend. When they asked that one who is her best friend, that one was like Jesus is her best friend. And she's like, me that you are seeing every day. What about me? You know, that.
I think that's so. I think because when we grow up, there's this sense of like, if you have a best friend, it feels complete. So I think you're sort of eager for it to say, "Oh, this is my best friend."
Mm-mm.
Um, but that's not necessarily like how the other person feels. Like I so remember, I was like, "Oh, my best friend is." I was even running towards her in school, and she was just like, "Oh no, but I've got a best friend in the UK," and I was
But she
like,
should not have the
"Ah."
same though. But like, say okay. It's not that. Anyway, so
It was
like,
quite funny. No, I think it was just hilarious for me. I mean, reflecting on it, I don't hold it against her, but afterwards, I was just like, okay, so clearly, I think that was also just a lesson in the sense that you might feel like someone's really valuable to you and they're close to your heart,
yeah.
and they don't feel that way about you. So, in this whole Hilda Bassi whatever situation, there's also a sense in my head that
Mm,
perhaps those two had more in common. Like, for example, if a lot of my friends are married and a lot of them talk about kids and,
mm,
oh, yeah, I had a cesarean section, I had an epidural, my hair fell out, things like that.
yeah.
If I happen to have a really close friend who's also married, there's a chance
Mm.
that if they were to meet my other married friends, they just have a lot more to talk about. It's sad because it means I would sort of be on the outside, but I also recognize that because they have so many points of similarity, they just gel more.
That feels
So I'm
like a
like,
mature way to deal about it, and I'm not willing to be mature. No. But the thing you said, I feel like it is like what you said about valuing people because with the friend from before that I was speaking about, I feel like the place, the what English, the place I put them in my life versus where I was put in their life was very different. And I
yeah.
think in friendships, it's not that you should be looking at me like, what did they do for me? Did I? But also gauge it. Am I
Mm,
doing too much? I did not. Are they doing too little? Do you get?
yeah.
And it feels wrong to say, but also like you too, you know.
Temper your actions.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Have you ever felt weird about a friend doing better than you?
Yes.
Or I mean, just based on your perception, they might not necessarily be doing better, but your
Yeah.
perception suggests that they are.
It's like friends, people like consider acquaintances, random people on the internet. I have felt it. I remember listening to a podcast that was speaking about jealousy and saying how like you what's it called? Like people feel as though jealousy is such a bad thing. But sometimes just when you feel that thing, sit with it and be like, why do I feel like this, right? Or
Mm,
like why what's the word? Why do I feel like this? And sit with yourself. And I think it's also important for you to not react against that person, if that makes sense.
mm,
So let's
mm,
say, for example, I am jealous that this person I'm friends with is married with kids, and that is something that I want for myself, right?
mm-hmm,
It does not make sense for me to be upset at
mm,
that person. If one is jealous, sit down and be like, why am I jealous? I want this and this for myself. Will me
yeah.
being jealous bring it to myself? No.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Okay. So alternatively, what if it is somebody that you are particularly close to, and maybe, for example, this friend is like always saying, "Oh, my husband this, my husband that, my kids this," and that is the thing that's choking you, right? If it is somebody that you are very close with, you can sit down with them and be like, "My sister, listen. I just when you say those things, I'm very happy for you. I am, but like." It does me somehow. I'm not saying you should stop.
mm.
I'm just letting you know that if you see my face doing something, right, know that it is that. That is if you are close with the person and you
Do
can
you
laugh
think even
about
if
it.
do you think even if you're close to the person, they'd take it well if you say something like that?
I think there are certain people that you can say it to that they will take it well. There are
Mm.
certain people that you have to work on yourself. It's the thing of you must distance yourself till you are okay and then you come back. Because you can't now say that I was jealous of your husband and your children. You can't say that, right?
Yeah.
But there are some people that the relationship that you have with that person, you can be like, I am feeling. So, for example, now I have broken up with somebody. This is the person I thought I would marry. Now I come to your house like next my husband. I can start crying. Do you get what I'm saying?
What do you do if you feel like your friend is jealous of you? Like, would you want them to come to you and tell you that they're jealous of you?
I don't think so because
Why?
what am I supposed to do with it? Like it
So
doesn't
why
make sense.
then why would you go tell someone how you are feeling?
I said if I am close to the person, you get
Okay,
what
so
I
if
mean.
your close friend told you, what would you do?
What
If
are
they're
they
like
jealous of?
Morayo, say for example they're like Morayo, I'm really jealous of the fact that you've got a great job, you can afford your own apartment, and it seems like everything is falling in place for you, and it's not falling in
Now,
place for me. How would you feel?
now that you say it, I don't think I would tell my friend if I was jealous of them. Because I'm just thinking now that we're having a nice time. Next thing, I'm actually jealous of you. From where to where? Which behavior? I take what I said back before that I would. No, I don't. Why? No, 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 no.
It's
I don't
hard.
think, I don't think it is also what do you aim to achieve from that conversation?
Hmm.
Is it that I should, if it was me now telling somebody that I was jealous of them, do I want them to stop? Or is it that I want them to be aware that if I am behaving funny, this is why? I think the what's the word? The reason or like the outcome that you want out of it is what you should think. If you want them to help you get a new job, or for example, if I was jealous of someone that like their job, their how they are in life and all of that. Things that we can do actively. You know the reason you are jealous. For example, your
Mm,
job. I would then ask my friend that friend, listen, I don't like the job I'm doing. And the job
okay.
you're doing sounds very interesting and all
Mm,
of that. Like, would you sit down with me and like help me, like put me on? You get what I'm saying? If,
mm-hmm.
for example, I am jealous, my friend is married, I am not married. Introduce me to people that you know.
Subu, you know one thing I'll tell you, like friends for how amazing they are and everything, I feel like they are terrible at matchmaking, or maybe just my friends. I've only had
Mm.
one friend, from them who made me or matched me with somebody that I actually liked.
I
The
mean, listen,
rest
she
is
can
usually
get up.
like I don't know. There's just something weird there. Maybe, well, I don't know. I don't know what happened there anyway. But let's leave that because now it's making me rethink some of these friendships. So I'm like, why would you think that I'd want to date a guy like that? Um,
All my friends are also in the same position I'm in. All of us are. No one
that
is mad. But the point is that if there's a reason you are telling this person, I think come about it in the way of I want this thing. I
I would
would
like
like
some
this
support.
thing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But coming to tell me or me going to tell somebody I'm jealous that your job is this that they should do what exactly?
yeah. I think a lot of times people will not tell you that they're jealous. But people act funny, man. Like I don't know. Like for me, I'm not really aware if someone is jealous of me. I tend not to like look at people that deeply, except you've done a few things where I'm like, okay, I think there's a problem. But I remember I had this friend who, I mean, she was weird. Every time we went out and she wanted to introduce me to people, she'd be like, this is Demi. Oh, by the way, Demi has a PhD in engineering. Like, Demi, things that I don't lead with when I introduce myself. Like, if you know, I just tell people I'm Demi and that's it, and I just move on. And she'd do it. And at first, it seemed like she was just being very enthusiastic, right? Like, she was just very
Mm,
excited to tell people all these things. Like, she was happy for the achievement. But
mm,
one day she was talking to somebody else, and I was in the vicinity, but I couldn't hear what they were saying. And it seemed like they were discussing something medical.
mm,
And that person then said, oh, let's ask Dr. Demi. And
mm.
then she goes, yeah, but she's not a real doctor. I don't go around telling anybody I'm a real doctor.
You have
Like,
to
so,
get to the person at that point. You have to fight. Meaning
so
what?
it put things in perspective in a weird way. Like, it was like, okay, then why do you go around like introducing me like this? But then when I'm not there, like you make it a thing. So that person that she told happened to be my friend, and he was
Mm.
like, "Really?" Then he called me and he's like, "Hey, Doctor Demi, come. She just said you're not a real doctor." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not. Like, what's the problem?" And she was like,
What
"No,
does
no,
a
no.
real doctor mean? What does that mean?
Oh, you know,
Like
there's
you're
this
not
whole
a
thing.
medical doctor or what?
Yeah, you're not a medical. So people believe that if you're not a medical doctor, you're not a real doctor. But I'm like, I tell people, like, even when I meet them and they're like, "Oh, Doctor Demi," if they introduce me in public, I usually tell them like I'm a doctor of philosophy, not a doctor that can give you medicine or anything like that. So just let's be aware of that. So for me, that's even a good intro line when I want to start talking to people. But for her, I didn't realize that she was making this distinction because she happened to be a medical doctor. So I didn't realize she was making this distinction between me and her the whole time to say, well, I mean, she's not a real doctor. I'm a real doctor.
That's such a weird thing to. It's such a weird hill to want to die on, but I guess
It's a
I
worthless
think
hill to die on because I don't even go around like calling myself doctor, except I'm in an academic setting or I'm doing public speaking. That's it.
this is why I do have a PhD because God should help everybody if I was to get a PhD. Dr. Morayo to you. No, doctor. And I am a real doctor. Best believe that. You are a doctor of medicine. That's a problem.
But
I'm a real
someone,
doctor.
yeah, I thought that was a bit weird, and somehow it just became a bit. It was a bit funny. I don't know, but you do have those friendships that
And
act weird when things are a bit unbalanced, I think.
you know what I think? There
Mm.
are those people, right? But then there's, that sometimes you feel like somebody's acting weird to you,
Hmm.
which is valid. They may be acting weird, but everybody's going through their own problem.
Yeah,
Do you
that's true.
understand?
Mm.
I may be acting weird because the food I made yesterday is not sweet. And I have to eat the food because I don't want to waste it. And you
That's
think I am jealous of you because they announced your promotion at all. I'm very happy for you. But my
mm,
thoughts are with my belly right now. Do you
not
understand
with
what I mean?
you. Yeah.
You get
Hmm.
there's also the time of okay, there's a time and place for everything. You should be excited for your friend. You should be, which is valid, right? But
Hmm.
on the other hand, people are going through things. The cost of Pringles in this country is something to think about daily.
How much is Pringles in South Africa now?
Thank you for this question. In the year 2020, 20 into 21, three
Hmm.
Pringles, you could buy it for 50 rand. They were doing promotion.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, one Pringle is 39.99.
What?
Exactly.
One of
Exactly.
those tall Pringles packs.
Very good. When they now want to do promotion, they will say three for 99 rand. And I'm just like, we are in 2023.
That's double
So,
the
so
price.
do you understand what I'm saying? So when I think about that, I'm visibly stressed. And somebody thinks that I'm jealous. No, I'm thinking about the price of Pringles. Because when I want to have Pringles, that's a luxury item. I don't just buy it when I feel like I think about that. Do you deserve Pringles?
The
Yes
cost
or
of
no?
living crisis is real.
Yes.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay, I hardly buy Pringles. So I don't know what's going on here. There's some things I think I'm not in touch with because I don't eat them much.
But the thing is, like things that you like,
Mm,
if you, for example, today, I know this is not where we are headed. We have spoken about money before, but today I bought strip sets and veggies from Nando's. I
mm,
remember vividly in like 2016, 17, 18, thereabouts, it was like 40 something rand.
mm-hmm.
There was
How much
even a
is
time
that?
where strips and rice and strips rice and veggies were the same price. If you decided to add veggies on it, it was the same price. Then they started adding a premium if you added veggies on it. To God be the glory. It is now 75 rand.
Nando's is $75.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So again, where are we headed? This
Those
is
are the
why
things you worry about when you're friend. You know what? I'll tell you something. When I share good news with a friend, I I don't always sort of like monitor their reaction.
mm,
Um, because like I mean, for me, like you said, people might be dealing with things. I think what I consider acting weird is when a friend is going out of their way to sort of like put you down, but not put you down directly or make you feel like you're less than them. That's what I consider to be weird. So, because there are
Mm,
times when friends tell me things that they're super excited about, but I'm still processing it in my head what that
mhm.
thing means. You know what I mean? So I might not be immediately excited, or maybe it's something they've achieved and they didn't like carry me along when they were working on it. So for me, it's just like really sudden news. Do you
Mhm.
understand? So I don't, so I'm still processing it. Or it might just also be like, I think the news is shit. Like if my friend is like, oh my God, I met this guy. Oh, and he's like this guy and he's a rapper and he's 41. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm
Then
not gonna be like, yes, sir. Like he's an upcoming rapper at 41. I'm just like, okay, that sounds great for you, I suppose. And I don't know how to hide my reaction. So my face tells you. And my good friends know this about me. So they don't get upset. They actually laugh because they're like, I know what you're thinking. So, but what is weird is, I'll give you an example now that we're talking about it. So during the pandemic, I was working in a very toxic environment and everything. And I had a friend who was working there as well, but then she left because she got a better job and she was earning way more. And, she was basically settling into her life. And then out of the blue, she calls me one day. She sends me a text and she was like, hey, Demi, do you like bees? And in my head, I was like, bee, as in honey bee. I said, please, what are bees? I didn't know. I didn't know what bees are. I was like, eh, what are bees? And she's like, no, bees, like the ones they pin on Gucci bags. So I said, let me Google this thing because I've been too broke to be following this trend. So I go and I Google it and I see these bees. It's basically like a little pin that you pin on your bag or on something. So I said, oh, they look nice. I guess I wouldn't mind them because in my head I was like, which bag will I pin the bee on? I don't have a designer bag. So where am I going to put the bee? So I said, yeah, I guess I don't mind. Y- yeah, like, why are you asking? And she was like, oh, okay, I'll send you a bee, but I'm just waiting for my black card to arrive.
I think that one that you're speaking about, I think that is a self-esteem issue. That is, you
How
have
can you
not
have a
been,
self-esteem issue with someone who is depressed? I was depressed, Mariah. I was
and they don't
underpaid.
know now.
I was no, they knew because we were working in the same place. I was underpaid. I was in an environment that was super toxic. I was trying to change my life and I was struggling. I was going to therapy.
For me, you see, it is, and the thing that I feel like sometimes, if it was a friendship that you wanted to carry on with, is that type of person you say that you ask them that this thing that you were saying to me that day, I want you to think about it. You feel like it makes sense to you. That thing you asked me. But unfortunately, someone like that can never get it. Do you get?
And the weird thing is they never sent me the B. Never even asked for my address to send the B. So
Or
it
they just
wasn't
wanted
about
to
the
think
B.
that you can afford the
Exactly.
bill.
So it was just a matter of saying I have a black card. And this same person also, I remember, these are the things I consider weird. Like, had reached out to me and said, "Oh yeah, I'm now doing an online program. I took a loan to pay for it, but I can afford to pay that loan back within a year, because of how much I'm now making." I didn't. We were
I
talking
think
about
it
COVID.
is what do you call it? It's a complex. It doesn't matter like you were going through what you were going through. It is a complex. Even from before when both of you were in the same job, from there
Mm.
was where it started. So after they left too, it was it's a
It was so weird. I thought it was one of the weirdest things. Like it was, yeah, like this. Anyway, we're not friends anymore. The same person I remember we had like an event at work and we had some guests from the US and I was leading the visit. This person actually went to the CEO to ask why they were not chosen to lead the visit.
telling you it's
Meanwhile, I was fighting for my life. So it's just, I think those are things, anyway, those are things I consider weird. Like weird things like if I tell you something and you're not immediately like, oh my God. For me, like that's, I just chuck that to like whatever else could be going on. But when you start doing things like that and I'm like, okay, this is what's creepy. But
like
yeah.
I think so for me it is not necessarily your it is things that over a period of time, like it won't be something that you do once I'll be like that's weird. It will be over a period of time.
Accumulating. Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and again, like I said, I don't believe in sitting down and addressing, which is a wrong thing.
Mm.
I want to say I'm working on it, but not. I don't believe in sitting down and telling you you did X, Y, Z, and that's why I'm hot.
Mm.
You do it one time, I'll be like, by a mistake. You do it another time. Okay. After a while, you will not do it for the last time, and I'll say that is enough, and I will remove myself from the situation. Because in my
Mm.
mind, I don't think it's. There was a friend of mine. We are still friends now. Like there was something that happened, and like she said something to me, and I was deeply hurt by it, and I let it go, right? But
Mm.
then after a while, I was like, I want to say something, and then I'm like, nah, I will leave it. And following that, nothing else has happened. The thing is that I feel some type of way. Like if I say something that, can I swear on this? What can I swear?
We'll try to edit it out.
I feel like if I say something honestly, I feel like a bitch, like like a little bitch, like oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm like,
Mm.
no,
I would
that's enough.
say, I would say that's something that you might want to learn to overcome, because even when you get into a romantic relationship, that is also going to like come up, where you would be unhappy with certain things, but now you're in it for the long run, so you're just stewing inside, and you become one of those people who are resenting their partners secretly, but outside everybody's like, oh, look at them, they are so cute, but inside you're probably thinking, ah, this person, the day I catch them.
It's
So
not
I
even the way I catch you. It is. I think about it like this. I feel like I have a
mm,
threshold of things I can take, right?
mm,
So if I'm friends with someone and they do something that I don't particularly like,
mm,
I'm like, is it beyond what I can take? No, I will let it go. And I will continue to let it go because it has not passed what I can take. Because
mm.
imagine bringing up, especially like if you are dating someone, bringing up every little thing that they do. Do you get?
Yes. Mm.
So
So
there is a,
go on.
there's a level of I can take this much. And then after
Mm.
you have overdone that level, that is where again, will I bring it up and discuss? That is the problem. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
that's what I'm trying to address. So when I say that you need to become better at addressing things that make you unhappy or hurt you, it's not that
Mm,
you address every single thing. So there are things that are tolerable because they don't attack you at the core of your person.
mm,
They might just be things that people do that you find annoying. So it might be a pet
mm,
peeve or something. That's
mm,
not something you want to address every single time, except it really, really gets to you. But there are things that people would say that you know that, okay, this is a bit of a problem, like someone saying, for example, this is an example of something that means nothing to me. I had this friend who would say, like, his wife was working and she started getting darker, so he made her resign.
mm.
Yeah. Like,
You might,
and I mean, look at me, I'm not light skinned, I'm dark. He said he made her resign because, like, when you get in darker, it looks like you're suffering. I don't care about that because I realize, like, for a lot of men, particularly Nigerian men, like light skinned women are like gold, like, oh my God. So I wouldn't care. But if someone were to say to me, for example, like something that really hurts me, like, I feel like you're uglier because you're dark, then
yeah.
that's like something where I'm like, okay, wait, we need to talk about that. You catch my drift. So like understanding the difference that sometimes it doesn't attack the core of your being, and also understanding the context of how people are saying certain things, and just wishing to like not get involved in certain battles is very helpful. But there are things that if you know it hurts you to the point that you think about it a day
Mm,
after, the day after that, it's better for you to call your friend, and it's not conflict, it's not a disagreement, it's an expression of how you feel. You sit down together and you say, hey, by the way, the other time when you said this, I don't know what you really meant, but this was how it made me feel, and I just wanted to understand where you were coming from. Works like magic. And you do it with your romantic partner as well. This is how I felt, and I want to understand where you were coming from, because it's possible that I took it differently because of how I'm conditioned, right? Because of how I've been existing in the world. So I took it in a different way. but I want to understand where you were coming from. And then they'll either give you an explanation to say, oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. This is what I meant. That will clarify your understanding. Or they
Mm.
would reinforce the fact that they really do think that thing of you and they don't care if it hurts you. And if it's the latter, then you know that you need to disengage. Because the system of waiting for things to accumulate, regardless of whether or not you think it has hit your threshold, you are going to become resentful. You're basically waiting for them to fill the cup enough for you to leave. You're not trying to reduce what's in the cup at any point in time. So it's just building up and it's building up and it's building up. And then by the time it reaches the top, you're like, okay, I'm done. And they are shocked because they're like, but what did I do? Was it? And they're only thinking of the thing at the top of the cup, right? Because that's what they think happened. Whereas you've been storing things for years. You've been storing things for decades, thinking, yep, yep. Why are you covering your face? I'm telling you the truth. So, like, I mean, like for me, like in romantic relationships, and then I will tell you, this is how you made me feel, and it it is a deal breaker if you refuse to acknowledge what how you made me feel. Like then I realized that you actually don't give a shit about me. I give you time to explain yourself, but if you're like, why are you feeling this way? That's not what you know. That's not what I meant. You're deliberately misconstruing my words. If you're taking it in that direction, I'm out because I realized that you're not listening to me. I said this is how it made me feel, and making me feel that way might be for a variety of reasons. It could be because of the tone you said it, because of the context in which you said it, or it could even be because I've had that kind of trauma before. And me telling you this is how it made me feel is also me laying the ground to let you know that I don't want you to do it again because it triggers this part of me.
I
So
you see everything you're saying makes so much sense. But in theory, will Mariah do it?
Mariah has to
So
try.
I sometimes the thing is I'm with you. I agree with everything that you are saying. Sometimes I feel like you know what, this is not a big deal. Especially I feel like I have a lot of grace for my friends. Like
Mm,
and they don't abuse it though. But like maybe something and I think about it day after, I'm like, it's not that bad. And then I let it go. For the most part, it hasn't come back to bite me, right?
mm,
The one that scattered before, that one, things were happening. Those ones I should have said something, right? But things that eventually scattered, I will avoid. Like, I will, this is a situation, I'm like, poof, now that it has scattered. Well, then, that was great. I will pack my bags. Did you ever watch The Ultimatum?
yeah.
The queer one?
Yes.
You see, Ozzy, when Ozzy will pack her things and be like, I just have to leave. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will head out,
I'm out of here.
you know. And
Yeah.
like even with like romantic relationships, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, but you can see that this thing you're doing doesn't make sense. But like, no, no problem. It's okay. It's
Mm,
okay. It's okay. And then one day it will not be okay anymore. And I'm like, well then, this was fun. And my mommy says the same thing, man, you can't just believe it. I'm like,
yeah, you
well,
can't. You have to practice. Yeah, just practice it with something that's not too big a deal, right? So that way it gives you the confidence. Because I think what happens with a lot of us is that we lack the confidence to confront something that has made us uncomfortable. And the
I
reason
can
we lack
confront
that
it. I don't
confidence,
like go. Like somebody, for example, if like there was a church thing this one time,
mm,
I changed this for that, but don't do it again, no. I feel like you're seeing me, you're seeing Sister Maria. Let it be the first and last time. No. Is this somebody that I feel like people that I don't have
good
a
relationship with,
relationship
a
with,
deep relationship. Mm.
I can scatter everything right there and
Yeah.
then. You understand?
Yeah. You need,
Now I care about you. I'm not like, oh, did this hurt me like that? Let
no,
me not.
you need to practice with the people you love. We can all tell off people we don't care about, but
Mhm.
you need to practice it with the people you love. You even need to practice telling off a romantic partner. Um, just it's healthy because that way they know what your
It
boundaries
is
are.
a mug. Like I will tell you, I don't like something. Maybe I need to renew my mind. Actually, maybe
Yeah,
I'm the problem. I can say that now. Mm.
you need to get good at it because if you always keep it to yourself, they will just never know. For some of them, they'll never know, and they might also just live with the impression that they were perfect to you this whole time,
And
and
that one
you
he
just
knew. He knew what he did. He was aware.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like afterwards, I now said what the problem was. After everything has scattered, and I said what the problem was. And I did not know. You're lying. You knew. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
But
you need to, if you want a relationship that works, you need to, like, and this applies to friendships because I've just realized we sort of delved into relationships. Relationship just is always such a, if you want a friendship that works, you need to always, if something is really hurtful, to say, this is how it made me feel, but I wanted to understand where you're coming from. And that's sometimes a difficult conversation for couples to have. But I have it openly, and my friends have it with me too. Like, I would say something about a friend, and they'd be like, Demi, when you said that, I didn't really like, what did you mean? And then I'll explain myself, and then they might say, oh, that hurts my feelings. I don't like it. "No, I'm sorry. Really sorry. I'll never do it again." And we carry on. We go out for a drink. It's that's building adult, healthy relationships and friendships.
I guess you. I mean, you're very correct. I have learned that today. I don't.
You
Mm.
practice. You practice. But this was great.
On the next episode, we will be speaking about community. I don't know
Mm,
how like community differs from like group of friends. Your community is
mm.
like a book club.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, your church. You know, I should tell you that I've actually learned from you based on this three circles thing. I'm like, geez, I have a few circles missing, and this is so weird. Like, should I be going to a, should I be going back to therapy or what? But anyway, just
Yeah,
something fun.
very wise. Yeah, everybody is welcome.
Indeed, you are.
Thank
I was
you
just
very
like,
much.
should I be going back? Like, should I be going back to therapy? Because, yeah, I don't know, but I do. I feel like the circles. It's not that the circles are missing; it's that they're incomplete. If that makes sense,
Mm,
right? So it's like a semicircle or like a circle that's 75%, and so perhaps that's where the issue is because I don't really feel out of balance as such. But I do have like incidents like getting a bad medical test result and just like dealing with that
mm,
alone for like a whole day, and then because it's just like, who do you reach out to tell this, and then only telling
mm,
people months later because that's when it feels good enough to tell and things like that.
mm, mm,
So
mm.
it's, yeah, but it's, this has actually been a good learning experience for me as well.
You're welcome.
All right then,
Hey,
so I will see you next week,
by the
or
grace,
next
next
time we're
week,
able to record. Yeah, I
because
know it's not every week. Next time we're able to record.
hopefully Springboks go in the finals next
Oh
week.
yeah, so you can, yeah, so
So we
there'll
can
be a
drink
public holiday if they
it.
win, isn't it?
Need it. I
Yep.
need it. Yeah, okay. All right. Cool, 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 cool.
Alrighty, bye.
Bye.